Hi guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm back again with another video. I finally got an account, guys. I finally got a challenge, and I'm here to tell you about the first week, how the first week went. And yeah, I'm just excited to share this journey with you, man, as I've been promising, as I've been saying. So let's just get into it. I'm about to show you the stats so far, and I'm about to show you the trades that I took the previous week. I'm recording this on a Sunday. Hopefully it drops on a Sunday, just so we can start the week on a good note. So currently I'm up 2.62%, as you can see. This was made in 1 week. I know it's not much, and considering the fact that I left so much money on the table, this is nothing, right? That's like, that's just something I still have to work on. And yeah, there's no better time to work on that besides now, because especially if I want to pass this challenge and get funded. I've learned that in the first phase you have to be aggressive. I mean, these are the things I was preaching when I was preparing, right? These are the things I was preaching when I was doing the trials and everything, telling you guys about being aggressive but not reckless, and like when you have that one move that you're sure about, even though you cannot be 100% sure in the markets, just like go all out, don't leave anything on the table. But I failed myself, but I still have a chance. This an unlimited time limit, so as I have time to correct my mistakes. I guess I was just, I don't know, working fear got the best of me. But then I'm willing to work on it, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to implement the new, you know trading psychology, or like new mindset around profit targets, and letting my trades ride and hit the TP, because two of the trades that I took to get to this point um were were trades that are well within my confinement of an A+ setup. But I left the trades early. I left as soon as I saw profits, and I shouldn't have did that. But hey, we live and we learn. This is literally my first ever challenge or account, and it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be realistic for me to be perfect right away, because now there's emotions a little bit involved, even though I try by all means to just keep it player. But yeah, let me not talk too much. Yeah, let me just break down the trades real quick. I even have clips. I will show you guys the clips. Uh yeah. So it was the first trade was really, let me see. Yeah, the first trade was the AUDJPY sell, right? The AUDJPY sell. I took how many positions? Three positions at 0.20. I mean I did my calculation for the position sizing and everything. I really was supposed to take around 8 positions, 0.20s, just so my risk to reward was, I was risking 1.25% with this trade. And had I stuck to that um plan and that execution plan, I would have made more than this, obviously, as was good too. Like, it was a good setup that had no drawdown, it had no crazy drawdown. Um, Actually, let me get on the charts. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can show you the chart real quick. AUDJPY right? Uh, Excuse the noise, guys. I'm actually working from my room, and the window is open, so please ignore the sound that you hear. AUDJPY. Do I still have the, oh yeah, I still have the analysis. Right. So this was a clean setup. I don't know why I chickened out of this one. So boom. Wait. Okay. I think now the sound is better. So this was the trade, yo. Um, First of all, I'm not gonna break down. You know what? I'm gonna start doing breakdowns of the trades that I actually take because I was evaluating my YouTube and I was like, there's no reason for me to be analyzing the DXY and gold for you if I barely even trade that. I mostly trade your AUD, JPY, and the other currency pairs, and I never analyze that for you guys. So I'm gonna start doing that and actually like analyze charts that I actually trade on this account and try to pass the challenge with you guys if you're also like, trying to get setups or whatnot. But this is this analysis I had, right? It looks a bit complicated and messy right now, but then let me just break it down real quick. The blue lines is significant. Well, it symbolizes or it marks out the highest high and the higher low of the overall wave, right? If we were to be if this blue line to the upside was to be broken, I would understand that this is a strong bullish trend, right? And then if the blue line to the downside was to be broken, I would understand that okay, it's invalidated because on a on a on a on a daily time frame, it low-key looks like a range, right? Because there's like this is the overall one is the dashed line. This is like on the weekly, damn near the weekly daily. But then on the intraday level, I use the blue lines to symbolize the same thing that the dashed lines are symbolizing on this one, the higher high and the higher low of the overall or sentiment, right? And if the blue line gets broken to the upside, we're going up. If it gets broken to the downside, we are disrespecting the uptrend, right? I don't know what's happening with my mouse. Hmm. Yeah, we're good. So, um, I was just focusing on the price action between the two blue lines. I figured that there was even a young downtrend from the resistance to the or to from the higher high to the higher low. There was some sort of as you can see. I don't want this video to be long, yeah, because I know y'all get bored. It shows in the analytics that y'all watched for 3 seconds. But anyways, you see, as you can see, this is what happened. And then as soon as I looked at price just last week or the previous week, I understood that price is actually failing to make new highs, right? Obviously it came down from that higher high, and this was the holding high. This was the holding high, but it's symbolized by this dash line. I just didn't want to bring it here because it makes it look messy, but let me do it anyways because I have to break this down to y'all. See, this is the most previous lower high that held, right? From with the when we talk about the trend that started from the higher high to the higher low, the inner trend, I'll just call it the inner trend or the inside trend because the overall one is the blue lines, right? So after price came to this area, obviously it did a little bit of a range, broke out of the red line. The red line is also a symbol of just like a resistance that has been holding that also turned into like a support. As you can see, the red arrows or these arrows right here, they symbolize the resistance when price came to this line and reversed to the downside. The blue ones show a little bit of support, as you can see, and then now these areas shows where price actually disrespected the line. So here it acted as a support, here it was disrespected, here it acted like a support, here it was disrespected, here obviously it was also disrespected to the upside, but then it made attempts to come back to retest, even though the retest was a bit messy. But then uh I looked at this price action right here, the break to the downside and the comeback. I looked at it from the same perspective as this one right here, right? So according to the pattern, I was trying to actually formulate, not formulate, but then study, not study. What's the word? You know, identify a pattern, a potential pattern to say, okay, if it disrespects it like this and then it goes up, that's not the move that I'm waiting for. It still has to come back to retest before it actually shoots up because look at what it does after the shoot the retest. It actually shoots up. right? So I was expecting the same thing. Hence, I had this gray arrow here and this little zone. I was expecting the same thing to happen, but that was that pattern that I was trying to figure out didn't hold, I guess, you know. So but then also we mustn't also ignore the trend line. You know, the trend line has been holding. Let me go to the 1 hour because that's where I took the trade. The trend line has been holding. Um, this was the second touch. I know it looks weird to this to only be the second touch, but it was the second touch when we look at the trend line. And the blue boxes is just to show that okay, price ever since price came to this point, it has only been making higher lows, right? This low is higher than this one is high. Like that's the pattern that I identify to say all the lows are going up, and this was the first time lows were getting broken, right? And I saw the signs early because obviously I told you about this range right here, the test line inside this one. You know, it happens to be the most recent lower high, and then this this was the support part of it, even though it was disrespected a couple of times. But I understood that this dash line is a significant area, right? And then before it got to that area, it created some sort of a liquidity pool here. Obviously, if we have equal highs here, there's going to be a lot of liquidity. Buyers expecting to buy the breakout, sellers expecting to buy or to sell at the resistance. But then obviously there was a little bit of a manipulation right here. The buyers went in and then they took out obviously by the drop, and the sellers who entered right by the resistance, the stop losses were dealt with around this place, right? So when price started dropping, I was like, you know what? This is about to be a plus setup, right? And I like the fact that price didn't just break out impulsively out of the trend line because the trend line was the final trigger. So it broke out of the trend line, and then there was a retest. You see, the last bullish candle, re obviously respected the trend line. You know, it was a clean retest, and it was also like a clean retest to this solid line here that we can say okay, it was a resistance twice, 1, 2, 3 even. Let me show you real quick. No, let me just delete this one because I don't have time for doing all that. Understand? So I hate that this video is gonna be long and I don't want it to be this long. As you can see, I couldn't ignore this line. I was like, okay, the retest, and if price doesn't break above the line, this solid line, I will understand that I'm triggered in. This is the perfect time to enter. Price is actually very bearish, you know. But my scary ass, oh my ish, I didn't have confidence on this one. I'm not gonna lie, and I was supposed to have all the confidence in the world. I entered, right? Had my stop loss up there, and then my TP was supposed to be here. Actually, it was supposed to be here on the green line. There's a green line somewhere here because I understood that whenever price rejects from this area, just like here, it bounces off. It bounces off somewhere here, right? Before it even does anything crazy. It bounces off somewhere here. You see? So I saw that and I was like, you know what? That's where I'm gonna put my TP. That's obviously that was before I entered the trade. That was before I entered the trade. Entered the trade and then I saw numbers. I was like, I couldn't, you know, and that's why I took the weekend off just to review my trades, review my psychology, review everything about my trading because obviously now I can get triggered. I know the type of setups that I'm comfortable in, but then when it's time to be comfortable, I'm not comfortable. I just want to get this challenge over and done with and just make the little bit of money and move on to the next trade. And that's bad because it tempers with my risk management, right? It tempers with the execution plan because if I'm gonna risk 1.25% to make 1. For the 1.8 risk to reward ratio, if I am right, I should really make the target, right? So if I keep on leaving trades early, I'm actually gonna damage the whole system at the end of the day. But yeah, this is the trade that I took. I think I exited by the red arrow. And another thing that made me exit, I remember, obviously when you want to exit a trade or when you're not comfortable in a trade or when you're just like, there was no reason to be uncomfortable looking back now. But then at the time, I was just like, man, there's a lot going on. And it was on CPI. It was on CPI on the day of CPI. So um price was just playing around this area. I was like, you know what? Since this is a higher low, right? This is a higher low, it's a significant area. And in my strategy or in my edge, I always say if I enter a trade like this, I have to get out at the next significant area because I understand how manipulation works. As soon as sellers see that, okay, there was a break and retest, they enter sells being comfortable, then price obviously reverses to go get the stop losses and drop. But price always makes it a point that it at least gets to the next significant area. It might be a support like this or a previous resistance, something, you know. But yeah, it does that, and then that's where I get out because my strategy is just to be in and out, take the small moves that I think were gonna are definitely gonna happen and get out. But then I didn't do that. And also there was a CPI event. I knew that it was gonna affect these markets, even though it's not USD related. But then if you do deep research, you'll understand how the USD has to do what the USD has to do with the ADJPY. So I was like, okay, the red line is the TP, but then the TP for the other entry, I think I had 3 entries. For one more entry is gonna be down there. And I just did it. I just couldn't let it hit the TP. But anyways, I've been talking about this trade. It's fine. Let me let it go. Let me work on myself as a trader. It's okay. Um, I'll have to hide this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Knowing my account number is crazy. Okay, that was the AUDJPY. We also have the Euro CAD. How many positions? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 positions on this one. There was a sell too, right? There was a sell, and I could have made more. As you can see, it was just like I could have made more. Let me show you how. I only took 2 trades out, and I'm so pissed because looking back, I could have passed the first phase with just these 2 trades. No cap, right? I don't know if I still have the analysis. Do I? Do I still have the analysis to this? Why did I enter? Oh, it was missed. By the time I entered, it was missed. I'll show you the clip though. But what I saw, obviously, you can see that the sentiment was bearish. And as soon as I saw that this movement, the attempt to make new highs was a failure, I was confident that okay, we might actually drop on Friday. Yeah, this was on Friday. And then price played around this area, broke out, right? Because you know how I get, man. Whenever I'm skeptical, I'll have so many analysis going on. So I remember I had something like this happening, right? And my analysis was that if price breaks below this line, this solid line, let me change its color, red line. If it breaks below here, I'm entering. Was it this or this? Wait, there was a line somewhere here. Things like I think I cleared up my analysis a little bit. It was probably this one because as you can see, it's a support. It was a support here, and then the move went up to here, and then came back here. Move reversed a little bit. Obviously, here it was disrespected. Here it was a support, but then a messy one. But then this one was respected. It was respected, but then look at the high it made. Epic failure at attempting to make new highs, right? So this was the level. So the psychology between this one is funny because I entered around what was the time? Around 4 p.m. right on Friday. So I had rules and everything here. I don't know if I'm gonna show you guys because that's too much source. Like that's the stuff you pay for. But it's fine. I'm gonna do it for you guys just to show you a picture of the thought process and like the journal of the thought process during the trade and everything. So I was like, okay, if price breaks below the red line, especially after this rejection, because this rejection, I was like, okay, what if this value is a reversal to the upside? Because we can't discredit the fact that price can still reverse from here and go up, right? Because we had this as well. We had this as well. It was hard to ignore it, but then it was just right there. Excuse me. It was just right there. So I couldn't just ignore it. I was like, okay. Price came here, and if we were to do this, honestly, you look at the trend line from the downside. This is the first touch. This is the second touch. Second touch which failed to make new highs. And then when price came here, I was like, I mean, I can't rule out the fact that price can still reverse from here and go up because there's a pattern for it, and this could be a fake out of the uptrend line, right? This could be a fake out for all the sellers who think this is a break and retest just to go get that stop losses up there before it drops. Or this is also like a setup for the buyers who were waiting for the third touch to say, okay, if he comes here for the third touch, we're entering buyers. But then clearly there wasn't much liquidity around this area because the manipulation was not that harsh. It was just like this rejection candle, and then price came back and came here. The 3 o'clock, the 3 p.m. close actually convinced me that okay, there isn't much buyers, right? So I had rules to say if the 3 a.m. candle closes below this red line, I'm entering sales, right? But then as soon as I saw this candle prior to it, right? I was planning for the trade, obviously, and hours before, I think around 1, 2, and I looked at this candle, I was like, you know what? The higher price goes, right? The higher price goes to go reject up there, the more I will compromise on the candle close rule. Obviously, price will have to come below this red line, but then I'm not gonna hold it to the candle close standard because the move that I'm expecting is an in and out move. As I told you guys that I just want that small in and out move, right? Before the manipulation takes place or after or whatever, like those low risk moves. I think I had my TP here. So as soon as I decided that, obviously you can see that the 3 p.m. candle, this one, the 3 p.m. candle had broken below the red line, and I entered immediately because I was like, I'm breaking the candle close principle, but then as soon as it just like goes below the line, I'm entering because this might be that one of those moves where like the one candle makes that huge move. Because there's been instances where I was like, okay, you know what? If it closes like this, it's fine. I'll just wait for a candle that closes below the red line and comes to the TP, and then that's where I'm gonna enter, But then I miss those type of trades because it would just be like one candle that comes here, even rejects or does something, So just to not miss the move, I compromised the closing the candle close principle, but then I entered right here, and then obviously 4 p.m. price was rejecting, and I think it was above my entries right here, or it was right by my entries because my entries were around right by the red line, right? So as soon as this candle came in, the 4 p.m. candle came in, I think I had my TP here.
They don't even have this shit no more.
Right now. Oh my goodness. I think I had my TP here
for
two positions, and then I wanted the other two to hit the gray area, this gray area, because the significant area because it was held as a resistance and support right here, So I was like, you know what? Is the trade that I'm gonna enter. As soon as this candle came in, it was too volatile. There was a lot of volume, and I'm not gonna lie to you. As soon as it cleared around this area, I closed each and every position. Well, I didn't even wait for it to come here. Didn't even wait for it to come here, right? But then yeah, those are the trades that I took. And I hope to learn. Well, I have to learn from my mistakes so that I can actually make more when I'm right, and so that I can pass this challenge. And at least the first phase is where like I have to be aggressive and make sure that I leave nothing on the table, obviously, and be careful about it. It doesn't make sense for me to leave my positions running when I'm in good profits without even locking in some. I have to work on that, work on my trade management methods. But other than that, this is the progress. This is how the first week went. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any advice on how to work on my you know, profit taking techniques or my fear whenever I'm in trades or whatever, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, thank you very much for getting to this point of the video. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna update you on the second week. Hopefully it's gonna be good news. Well, I know it's gonna be good news, right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video, and yeah, all the best for the new week. I don't know if I'm gonna drop the market breakdown tomorrow, but I'll see. Thank you very much.